This is the Corner Cutter Podcast, and you're listening to episode 91. Yes, that's right, I'm back.
Hi, this is Daniel Goodman.
Dylan Wang from JPerm.
Ian Scheffler.
Shivam Bansal from India.
This is Alex from Z3 Cubing.
What's up, guys? This is Jaden McNeil from Australia, and you're listening to the Corner Cutter Podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Corner Cutter Podcast, podcasting since 2014 and cubing since 2015. I'm your host, Josh, and this podcast is dedicated to taking a deep dive and learning more about the cubing community. So whether that's featuring in-depth interviews with cubers from all across the sport, or just updating you with current cubing news and stuff I'm doing in the cubing community, along with your feedback, of course. That's what this podcast is for. So I hope you enjoy listening to this episode. And yes, I'm back after several weeks off and lots of stuff happening around the world. I'm finally getting a new episode out. Yes, I'm happy to be back with you guys. So there is no interview today, but I still have lots of great content. I want to give you guys some updates on what's going on. And yeah, let's jump right into today's episode. So first, some personal updates. So I'm well into the spring semester now for college, and I'm taking 4 classes, but I need to do a total of 6 courses this semester in order to graduate with an associate's degree. So I'm working hard. Already took care of my 5th course, and I'm using the CLEP program. Definitely check it out if you're first year college student or even in high school. That's what I did I did quite a few CLEP courses. That's CLEP. Check that out. It's a really great way to get college credits without having to put in a lot of time and money. So check that out. But yeah, so I'm finishing up the 4 classes, or I'm about halfway through, and I have that 6th course to complete as well. It's going to be biology CLEP, which is one of the tougher ones, but I'm going to get it done. I have a 8.0 rate, 9.0 rate. I can't remember how many CLEP courses I've taken. But that aside, and so that has been taking up a lot of my time. I also am working part-time now too, 10 to 15 hours a week. And so it's basically been a lot of school and work over the past couple months, which is why I haven't got around to getting some episodes out. I'm doing great though. I bet it looked like to some of you that I kind of disappeared off the internet. But no, I'm back, and yeah, I'm really looking to get consistent with episodes again. I'm not sure how often, but I really want to get consistent episodes out, because as you know, this is a consistent podcast all about speed cubing. Another thing that has been taking up quite a bit of time is my small cubing side business, which is selling magnet sets and magnetic clocks magnet sets to make magnetic ling-out clocks, and then I make them as well. If you've seen my tutorials, that's exactly how I do it, and it's like every time it produces amazing ling-out clocks, and I've gotten so much great feedback from y'all who have received clocks. I know some of you podcast listeners too enjoy the show and have bought a clock from me, so thanks so much. I'm really glad you're enjoying your clock. The reason this has been taking up a lot of my time too is I wasn't able to get the ring magnets for a while, so orders kind of backed up, especially magnetic, clock orders, which it takes time to make those clocks. It takes me well over an hour to produce one clock. So you get a few of those, and that takes a lot of time with packing and shipping and all that. So I received the ring magnets finally several weeks ago, and now I'm able to continue shipping orders out, and I'm almost caught up on magnetic linear clocks. That's what I've been doing over school break, which was this past week, making and shipping magnetic clock orders. So, the other thing too, I would have got this done a lot sooner, but then I was having trouble getting linear clocks from China because of the Chinese coronavirus. That slowed everything down. So it was quite a process from when I arrived, the ring magnets finally arrived, and getting all these done. I'm almost caught up though, and then I'll have more time on my hands. So moving on to another topic, the Chinese coronavirus. I'm sure it's affected most of you in some way. They're shutting down states now like California and New York. I don't totally agree with that, but they're doing what they do. I think the President Trump is doing an amazing job handling this situation, and finally, even some of his opposition is commending him on doing a good job, which we haven't seen for the past 3 years. So happy to see that. I don't think the U.S. should be shut down. The economic state is bad enough right now, and you're hurting people by doing that. You hurt more. You would if the economy shuts down. You're hurting more people than the coronavirus or Chinese coronavirus would hurt. So I really hope that doesn't get shut down. Maine hasn't been shut down yet. A lot of restaurants have closed. Non-essential businesses have closed, which is really not good for the economy, but that's what has happened. And I work at a retail store, so it's been packed the past couple weeks. It's actually slowed down a little bit, though. I think people have got enough toilet paper and canned food to last them a while, so that's why. And people are quarantining themselves now, or at least staying more at home than usual. So I guess that's why it's slowed down a little bit. So that's my perspective on the Wuhan coronavirus. We'll see how this goes. As a lot of you probably know, all WCA competitions have been canceled, or at least the ones in the US that are coming right up have been canceled. So I would expect to see, hopefully this virus stops spreading in the summer, because it is, the virus does not like dry conditions, so hope to see that. If we just can get through April and May, that would be good. And then still, competitions are a really good place for viruses and that kind of stuff to spread, with everybody touching everybody's cube and people sitting so close together and all of that. So I would expect at least late June for competitions to start up again. So we'll see what happens with Nats or that sort of thing. I guess it's the Northeast, the North American Championship this year. On a lighter note, though, let's move into some of your feedback. Lori, just the other day, sent me an email. They said, "Hi Josh, I'm a Cuber from England, just emailing to say that I really enjoy the podcast and that I recently became a fan to it after starting cubing 3 months ago. My 3x3 average is now 32 seconds and my best solve is 21 seconds. My main suggestion or request is for the podcast is that you can have Dylan Wang, aka JPerm, on the podcast as often as possible. I think he is amazing and definitely the best YouTuber. Keep doing the great things you are doing. I'm really enjoying it. Best wishes, Lori. Lori, thanks so much for that kind email. I appreciate you reaching out. Then I have an audio voice message from Breton. He actually recorded this a couple months ago, so I wasn't able to play it on the podcast because I didn't have an episode. But Breton, thanks so much for this kind voice message.
Hey Josh, my name is Breton and I'm from Ottawa, Canada. I'm 13 years old and I've been cubing for about 2.5 years now. I'm really enjoying the podcast and I'm very excited to see TCCP cross 100 episodes. I wanted to personally thank you for making the updated magnetic clock tutorial. I magnetized and set up my Lingao clock and my times dropped from 17 seconds all the way down to 13 seconds. I really appreciate the time and effort you put into the podcast and I hope it'll stay strong in the years to come.
Dominus Cubis on Speed Solving said, "Hey, I love the podcast. Keep up the great content." Then there were a few Apple Podcast reviews as well. Coder TB said, "Brilliant, best cubing podcast. Good work, Josh." Tons of smiley faces. Someone from Canada said, "Amazing. I love the podcast, especially when I'm in bed falling asleep and also just practicing cubing. Would absolutely recommend this podcast to everyone ages 0 to, 999,999,999. Okay, all jokes aside, this is a great podcast. Only downside is it rarely uploads episodes. However, when those episodes come out, I'm really excited to listen to it." Thanks for the 5-star review. Yes, I totally agree, and I know exactly how you feel, because some of my favorite podcasts, I feel the same way. I am so excited when an episode comes out, but it is a downside to the podcast for sure. I will try to keep up a consistent podcast, so I'll try to work on that. And then Gamer Green 112 from Brazil said, "Overrated. 5 stars. One of the best cubing podcasts I've ever listened to." Thanks. I appreciate that. So that's your feedback from the past couple months. I always appreciate hearing from you, whether it's a review or an email. My email address is josh@thecornercutterpodcast.com. So that's pretty much it for this update episode. Next time I'll try to bring you some actual cubing content. Well, I guess I did have some today, but just trying to update you guys, let you know that I'm still here. I also, before we go, I want to thank our Patreon supporters. They're awesome. Reggie, Kathleen, and Felipe, who support the podcast every month, even in February when there wasn't an episode. So I really appreciate your support, and I'll try to post more bonus content up there as well. Remember, you can find show notes to this episode, tutorials on how to make a magnetic clock and where to buy magnets and that sort of thing on my website, thecornercutterpodcast.com. If you have any questions, you just want to say hi, email me, josh@thecornercutterpodcast.com. And that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you again next time on episode 92 of the Corner Cutter Podcast. Thanks so much, you true fans, for staying subscribed and continuing to listen to the podcast. I know there's quite a few back catalog episodes, so if you haven't checked those out, make sure you listen to those as well. But I know a lot of you guys have listened to all the episodes, and I do appreciate that. Thanks so much for being a fan. See you next time. Bye.